Hey Playas, how you doing? Welcome back to Playas Guide. I've had some great comments left in the comment section lately, and I did a Q&A a while back. I'll leave a link to that at the end of this video. But I want to address some of these questions because I think they're great. So if you have questions, keep them coming, and maybe they'll be covered in an upcoming episode of Playas Guide. If you just have any ideas for videos that you'd like to see me make, leave them in the comments below. There's a good chance I'll cover it. And subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, because if you don't, you're going to miss the videos and you won't get to see your questions covered. So this question is a question about what to collect for modern consoles, or last generation, although the Switch is still current. Should I collect for the Switch or the PS4? So I can't tell you what to collect for. I can tell you I would collect for the Switch. Now, I do like the PS4 more than I like the Switch. The thing I like about the Switch is not the portability. I don't care so much about that. It's that it has so many great indie games on it. Now, in terms of collectability, the reason why I would collect for Switch, but I prefer the PS4, and the PS4 is one of my most favorite modern consoles in recent years, besides the Wii U that I think is underrated, but that's another episode. So here's the deal. If we talk about longevity of collecting, Nintendo, most of us know, and if you're subscribed to the channel and you've watched some of the Playas Guide episodes, you're going to know that it's more popular. Nintendo has always been the more popular console and always will be the more popular console to collect for. Sony is also very popular, but has just started to gain some popularity in recent years because they came in later to the game. There's still a lot of people playing Nintendo products and using Nintendo products like the Nintendo Switch, just like there are for the PlayStation. So for the next few years to come, Nintendo has anyways a built-up generation of collectors and future collectors. Now, as things go towards the digital era, there will still be lots more Nintendo stuff to collect, and it'll have a much richer history, which will keep propelling consoles like the Switch in terms of popularity for collecting. Another thing to consider is, well, the PS4 has, high quality compact discs, much better than the DVD discs for the PS1, PS2, and PS3. Good quality, don't get me wrong, great to collect for, great console. The cartridge-based console is less susceptible to damage, scratching, and disc rot. It's less susceptible to bit rot. And because of the smaller, higher quality chip inside of these cartridges, it's even less susceptible than some of the older generation consoles. It is. Some other things to consider too is that, Nintendo has a lot of exclusives, and they also have a lot of these limited print games that a lot of people are really into collecting for. Now, I don't know if you even want to consider that stuff as part of the collection. Maybe you don't, but there's enough people out there already collecting those games for the Switch. And it seems to be the Switch stuff is generally a little bit more popular, and I think that's because of the indie support that Nintendo has really gotten out there on the Wii U and the Switch to support a lot of indie games. Now, the PS4 has these limited print games and supports indie games, but I find a lot of the games that I want to play either come to the Switch first or only on the Switch, or there are also on the Switch and PS4, in which case it is better to get those games. And if you're a physical collector, you're going to want the Switch. So those are my thoughts on where PS4 collecting and Switch collecting is at and what you should collect for. Now, the one thing to consider is the PS4 games in the next year or two, they're going to take a drop. The Switch games will probably be strong for the next year or two because I imagine that'll still be Nintendo's console for the next year or two. Nintendo has managed to find this nice little space where they've wedged themselves between the release of, let's say, the PS4, the PS5, the Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X. And putting themselves in between means that they're not really competing with those consoles. They're kind of able to do their own thing, but still appeal to the same gamers. So you buy your PS5 or Xbox Series X last year or this year, and 2 years from now Nintendo has a new console. You're not taking such a hard hit and having to decide which console are you going to pick up. You're able to afford both. And we don't see Nintendo stuff come down in price too often. So I really think that Nintendo would be the better console to collect for long term, in terms of not just library, but the quality of what you're going to be collecting. And nothing against PS4. PS4 is great. I love my PS4. But you're going to see those games come down in price a bit in the next year or two, which is also good for collecting. You may want to factor that into your decision. But in the long term, beyond that, collect for the Switch. That's it for this episode of Playas Guide. Playas Guide wants to be your source for retro gaming, so follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, where you could find a plethora of different retro gaming content streamers every single day of the week, every evening here in North America. And join our Discord if you're looking for a retro gaming collector-based community. Later, players.